we had a new episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey last night, and I'm actually feeling very well today so far, knock on wood. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, we find out that at the softball game, Melissa invited everyone to their shore house for a luau. And we have a scene with Rachel and Danielle who are shopping for clothes for the luau. And they also start showing some unseen footage of the two of them together. Now, personally, I think we need more of the unseen footage of these two and their friendship and them having fun than Frank and Tanya crying. Just my opinion. Now, way back before the season started and with the taglines and probably the first couple episodes, I was talking about how I did not like Danielle. I 1000% take that back. And thanks to a follower on IG telling me and sending me the link, she was actually on True Life Staten Island on MTV. But in my opinion, this girl's Staten Island vibes come through fully. Danielle says that she had a very long conversation that we didn't see at the softball game with Joe Gorga. Now, I wish they had shown that or shown more of it, because I think she might be the one person that Joe could open up to and we get more of how he's actually feeling. But I also think that editing used it for a way to set up for everything that is to come in this episode for Danielle. Now, the newbie that is on my shit list is Rachel Fuda. Every single episode, this girl has said, I don't need background details. I don't want to be into it. I don't need to be in all this drama. And every single episode, she has been the one that has started the stirring of the pot. While they're shopping, she brings up to Danielle that she can't stop thinking about how Teresa and Jen were like, be careful, keep Margaret close. And somehow later in this episode, that spins into Danielle told me this is how I should be. When in reality, it was Jen and Teresa talking to both Danielle and Rachel Fuda. Now, Teresa starts talking about how she's upset that Joe and Melissa did not invite her to stay at their shore house. I have mixed feelings on this. Number one, I do see what she's saying. Like, we talked at the softball game. If they really want to work on things, this would be a prime opportunity. Like, I really do think it could have been, if it was just the four of them, where they could have all just sat down and hashed things out. I do think it would have been helpful. However, like, really, Teresa, why do you think that they would ask you? Interestingly enough, later in the episode, she says that she's never stayed at their shore house, and also makes the claim that Gia had asked to stay there once, but Melissa said no, and I don't know how much I believe that. Now, I feel like Bill and Jen got the discount on the Jersey Shore townhouse. I mean, it's right on the boardwalk. Like, the t-shirt shop is probably right in their backyard. It is a far cry from the Aydin McMansion. Margaret and Jackie are staying at Melissa and Joe's, however. And of course, as soon as they get there and sit down, Margaret's got to start dropping and planting seeds. She claims that she was talking about how she was so annoyed with her mom, but then happens to roll in that her mom walked up to Teresa, and Teresa was like, yeah, you can absolutely come to the wedding. We know why you did that, Margaret. We know. Now, Jackie, knowing that she needs to start earning her spot, slides in and decides to start bringing things up about Danielle. She's already had fights with her in numerous episodes, but she's trying literally everything she can to get herself on camera. You're with Melissa and Joe, who obviously have issues with Teresa and Louis, and you need to start talking about someone else, aka Danielle, who has problems with her brother. Like, it's a touchy subject. Why are you doing this? Oh yeah, that's right, because you're fighting for camera time. But what I really didn't like about it is that Joe and Melissa have this situation, and even Melissa in her confessional is like, listen, it's just another unfortunate situation and it's uncomfortable. Then why are you all laughing? You all are dealing with this. Why is it funny? I can't lie, the Gorga Luau seemed fun as hell. I really do think that hanging with them would be fun and entertaining, as long as Joe Gorga keeps his cool. Margaret now is going to confront Teresa about how she said that they needed to be careful around Margaret. Teresa starts backpedaling, and in this moment, as I was watching live, I'm like, oh my gosh, here comes Teresa. Here comes the real Teresa. But she kept her cool. Instead, she backpedaled and blamed it on Rachel. Listen, this is 13 seasons. Your jobs are literally to talk shit behind people's back, and then someone's always going to tattle on it. I don't understand why we're even shocked or mad about it anymore. Teresa, you said it. Just own it. But also, Margaret, don't say that you've been on the Teresa train. And don't say that it undermines your character when last week you called someone a disheveled schmug addict. Teresa is not wrong. Everyone needs to watch their back around Margaret, because every time she drops a secret, lives are ruined. Teresa is asked if not inviting Melissa's mom and sisters to the wedding was an oversight, and Teresa flat out says, nope, absolutely not. And my jaw actually dropped because I thought she would play it off. And production then goes on to ask her, what is the real reason? Teresa claims that this goes all the way back to the christening, and that christening episode will forever live in my mind. I was actually kind of shocked that she admitted this, but it also shows that she really is holding that christening against, in my opinion, everyone. And if she's still holding it against Melissa's sisters, I have a feeling she's probably holding that against Melissa and Joe still too. Now, I love a drunk Jen and Bill Aydin. And a lot of people are like, she's always drunk. She actually isn't. There are a lot of episodes it actually only drinks club soda. But when she goes, she goes. Now, Jackie earlier went to Dolores and was like, your girl is hammered. You need to go watch her. And Dolores is like, whatever, she's fine. But then Jackie comes in and she's like, are you okay to have a conversation? Because I really think you need to make up with Margaret. Babe, your desperation is showing. Just stop. No one wants to have that conversation when they are hammered. Then she goes on to tell Jackie a lot of things about her marriage, which I don't think sober Jen would do. But she's really digging when she brings all of the women together so that they can all discuss what the real reason is that Danielle and her brother are not speaking. Meanwhile, you have Danielle, who is in the back, and this is not the first time that she's overheard Jackie spewing her name. Now, while all this was happening, my blood was boiling for her. And even after Melissa comes and tells her what they're talking about, which I respect Melissa for that, because she could have been shady, she wasn't. She was very straightforward with her. Danielle just was like, you know what? Wrap it up. We're leaving. You can see that things are not going to end well for Jackie. She messed with the wrong newbie. Should have picked Rachel Fuda. She was an easy target. And also, I need a little bit of the restraint that Danielle has. Like, maybe I don't need to scream at everyone in the comments. And to end this, next week we saw a preview of Louis saying that he wears Teresa's dad's pajamas so the girls feel safe. I think we're going to take a turn on the Teresa and Louis situation next week. What do you think of this week's episode?